Live from Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show, presented by Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. And now, here's your hosts, Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 323. I'm your host, Brandon Reef. I'll be joined momentarily by my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. We want to say welcome to our StreamYard audience who's on Facebook Live, on Twitter /X, on Instagram, on the YouTube channel, on Crossroads' Twitter, the Crossroads Instagram tonight. We're able to get that up and running. So all that more, as well as Blog Talk Radio, doing it on here with the call-in number 929-477-3331. I'm your host, Brandon Reef, joined as always by my co-host, my comrade, flight partner, as soon as he gets in, called in here, Jonathan Birdsong. He'll be joining me momentarily. Big show tonight. We're going to talk a lot NFL, college football continuing. It's hard to believe we're already almost on week 10 in the NFL and our college football, and we're already getting on, moving ahead with the NFL, week 8, week 9. Craziness. We've got college hoops starting. The college hoop season just started recently this week, and as well as the NBA, but we can't get started without my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. JB, how are you?
Excuse me. Doing just fine. I'm coughing. Doing just fine, man. Doing just fine, man. Ready to talk a little sports tonight. I know we got I had a live. We got to kind of talk about that. Kenny Anderson jumping in on my live. That's kind of cool too. But ready to talk some sports tonight. I know we got to talk to Brandon. I know I usually let you just kind of go with it like open topic. I know we got Tanner coming in too, man. But if you got to talk about topic first, I'm going to talk about that bracket you sent me yesterday, college football playoffs. Even though that's all those things, but it's college football playoffs that started today. That's kind of big. We got to kind of talk about that. So
yeah.
If I had one request, I know NBA. It's still a basketball world for me. I know, Brandon, I got lots of downloads with that as well. Again, like I said, Kenny Anderson, they kind of chopped. I kind of want to talk about that too. But I kind of want to talk about that playoff. That's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm going to show it on the Facebook Live, on Instagram, on YouTube, and the Twitter X. We'll put the bracket up there now, John. Bracket is there. Go ahead, my man. The floor is yours. As the bracket was released last night, we've got our 12 teams in, and what the bracket looks like. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
No, so it's weird. So I had some dialogue. You know what I'm saying? If anybody doesn't know, you kind of like I said, follow us. Me and Brandon, we talk some sports pretty much all day. He's on Twitter or he's on Facebook, right? So I had some dialogue about it. And Coach Stallings, I think Coach Stallings used to be a Fisher's addict, high school, here locally. I don't think he's there anymore. But he had a good point. He was like, man, in this playoff, the Big 12, I get it, they give one team, but in the old format, they really got no team. The Big 12 this year, when they wouldn't send any teams. Their conference is kind of predatory and eats itself up. You know what I'm saying? Technically, the ACC, the ACC still got Miami, right? So, but the Big 12 wouldn't have got a team in this year with the 12-team playoff format. I can't totally poo-poo it, Brandon. I know you kind of shot on a can about it, right? You kind of like it.
Love it.
But
it's erotic. Seeing that bracket was erotic. I said, where the hell's this been for so long?
It's very Big Ten SEC, very, very.
Well, it's going to be, John. We're in the Super League now, baby.
Hold on. Is it going to be though? Because like I said, I that's a great dialogue. He wasn't even supposed to he probably even kind of chimed in or whatever. What happens when Florida State gets back good?
Okay, then they fill in the ACC spot.
Can you send a Big 12 team going to get left out potentially?
Well, no, there's always going to be one.
Okay, but here's the politics of looking at that right now. there's SEC teams mad because Indiana and Penn State, don't put that all on Indiana. You know what I'm saying? Indiana's rolling team. The Hoosiers rolling team. Offense and defense. Penn State, Brandon, as you well know, Penn State's best win is against Illinois for the year. Who else did they play that was right?
Okay.
Outside of Ohio, you know what I'm saying, who they just played, who they lost.
Right. I'm still trying to figure out where you're upsetting us because would you rather?
Okay, hold on. So what's LSU going? They all right with this? Texas. Wait a minute.
Yeah. If they can't beat Tennessee, if they can't beat Texas, and they can't beat Alabama, they can't beat Georgia, then guess what? You don't deserve to be in.
Hold on. You forgot about your little brother. Your little brother, Ole Miss.
If you can't beat the teams that are ahead of you, you don't deserve to get in. This isn't a participation award where you get everybody in because now we're going to bitch that we have the 12, that we don't have 16.
It's not a participation award. It's the best team. That's what y'all told me.
Okay, so then let me ask you this. Would you rather just say screw the best group of 5 and get them out of there at 12? Because we're trying to open it up where it's fair for everybody. But if we're going to bitch about Ole Miss or somebody else not getting in, then we got to get rid of that position. And then while we're doing it, let's get rid of the independents. If you're not in the conference, you don't deserve to be in it. So let's get rid of the independent.
If you get rid of it, here's the problem. Like, all those teams that are in the playoffs, they needed the Big 12 because they had wins against the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
All those teams that's in the playoffs, whether they ACC, Big 10, they needed some of those teams that's on the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what, Brandon? There's a lot of good teams, bowl teams, and I know there's going to be some more bowl games. Whatever. There's a lot of good teams on the outside looking in. Like, wait a minute, we better than that. You know what I'm saying? Who beat? Boise State played Hawaii and Portland State, man. Come on, man. Let's be for real. Oh, Miss is like, man, they was zip-tied Boise State tonight. You know that. LSU was zip-tied Boise State tonight. You know that. That's my point. There's some teams looking out, but like, wait a minute, man. We can't get in the playoffs because we play in a tough conference. Damn. That's my point.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, it's not fair. College football's not fair. It never was. There used to be no national championship. It used to be whoever was first in the AP poll was declared your champion.
Yep.
So
but there's gonna be some policies, Brandon. I guarantee you, man. They're not gonna. We can't have Penn State rolling up there, and the only team they beat is Illinois and Ole Miss, and like you said, some of those SEC teams. This is when the SEC bias kind of comes into play. You know what I'm saying? They play in a tougher conference, and here they are. Got to play. You know what I'm saying? Got to play in. You know what I'm saying? Grandma.
You play what you got. Unfortunately, and people bitch. You know, the group of 5. Hey, we want to make sure the group of 5's involved, so we're going to give them the 12 seed no matter what. We want to make sure independent, so we're going to let the independents get in there. But that's going to take teams away from your other conferences, which at that point, it's about scheduling and how everybody talked about, and there was a lot of people talking about how watered down the regular season was going to be with this playoff, that it doesn't matter if you win the regular season. Oh, au contraire, it does matter if you have to win this regular season because you have to get yourself in the right position for seeding, to get yourself in that upper echelon where you will be in this. Because guess what? If you don't, and you just take this regular season and think it's nonchalant, then you're not going to be there. So that argument people had, I'm glad to see it's going against them.
All right, so Purdue had a down year this year, right? Can they schedule themselves into a playoff spot?
If they win, yeah, you got to win.
You know, well, I'm talking about in their non-conference, man. The whole big argument, we had it with the homie from the reporter, Danny Richardson. He was like, who did IU play? You know what I'm saying? In the first 3 games, I'm like, bro, Danny, you got to look at the game.
Yeah, look what IU did. Purdue can schedule non-crappy teams. As long as they beat the right teams in the conference, then they're in. But here's my thing. Somebody's going to get their feelings hurt. Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana. Somebody's going to get their feelings hurt, and it's not a 3-team championship game in the Big Ten here in Indianapolis. So somebody's going to get their feelings hurt.
Right. And Penn State gets still make the playoffs because they got a.
Yeah, this is James Franklin's wet dream.
Franklin, yeah, right. He got a bunch of cakewalks lined up right now.
Well, this is what keeps him employed, John. You lose to the big wigs you can never beat, and you still have a good record. You still get in the playoffs. So,
man, I'm glad we all called that game. Oh no, did Tanner go? I went with Ohio State. You took Ohio State.
I took Ohio State as well. All three of us did.
Oh, okay. I thought Tanner went the other way.
No, I went the other way and changed my pick.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What you think of? What you think of some of these weekend past games anyway?
Indiana, I was shocked how much they whooped ass up in East Lansing because I know you said you said all year that IU was either going to lose at Michigan State or they're going to lose at home in Michigan. I don't think they're going to do either. I hate to tip my hat here soon, but I will say, is there any type of fall of grace you've ever seen the way that Florida State was last year to now they're 1-8, John?
That's cool.
1-8, Florida State.
Cool.
Bobby Bowden rolling over in his grave right now, as we speak.
Give me two.
Unbelievable. Well, Jameis Winston.
I don't know if you bet or not, but don't give me a second. You already probably
But yeah, and some of these other games that happened this past weekend, let me bring up on my phone because I don't really have it right here near me. But
yeah, my notes are flutter, bro.
well, I'm kind of out of order. I've got my stuff for NFL and everything else. But if I look at the last week, Purdue, they lost in overtime. I understand going for it at that point, but it's Northwestern. It's Northwestern. So
You gotta beat them.
Ole Miss zipped up Arkansas. I thought Arkansas would compete a little bit harder than what they did there in that game. Just got the doors blown off. God love Dan Lanning. He knows the spread, John, and me and Tanner won our bet with the cover there by Oregon. So the non-needed touchdown that they scored at the end there to get that win, I thought that was I was happy with that. And Oregon looks like a freight train right now. Some of the other games, hey, good to see Oklahoma. You got that get right game. You beat Maine 59-14. That's a huge get right game for Oklahoma. John, I checked out, and I was busy all day Saturday. We had Taylor Swift in town here in Indianapolis, but I was checking scores, and when I was walking through the lobby of where I'm at, I saw Duke score some big touchdowns in the first, and I was like, all right, the Dukies are coming to play. Miami, maybe upset alert. And then, oh my God, Cam Ward, Heisman guy, just pulled it out.
Hey, man, Brandon, where I give an apology.
Uh-oh.
I give one.
Uh-oh.
I owe him an apology. But here's the thing, though, Brandon. He has jumped around. This is technically his fifth year. The NFL has kind of told him what he kind of needs to work on. Otherwise, like Brandon, like you can't, like you asked me to do, I think he's going to go one. Like he's top five now. He's like 24 years old.
Right.
He knows what he's doing now. It's kind of like with the kid from that championship game last year.
Yep.
In Washington. So yeah, man, he looks real good. Cam Ward looks real good. Miami looks. The UA back today officially win the ACC. Which has not been done in quite some time. So
I will.
They look like with Clemson losing, them not looking so great, and with Florida State, come on, man.
I mean, Iowa State losing to Texas Tech at home, Kansas State losing to Houston, Nebraska. John, I fell for it again. I thought Nebraska was going to have a good year. Thought they were going to have a good year, and I fell for that bait. Listen, you know what? You look at BYU, right? Who's right now leading the Big 12, so they are considered the 4th seed. And I know people were bitching on Twitter, and I had to put them into place because they're like, "Why is Ohio State having a first round game at 5 if they're number 2 in the rankings?" It's idiots. Know your playoff format. My God, know the format before you go bitching on Twitter and stuff. Because I was going at people. But BYU 5-0, Iowa State 4-1. John, do you know who's sitting there just one game back and could put themselves in a college football playoff bye game if they win the Big 12? Colorado.
Hey man, somebody laughed at me when I said Colorado.
6-2.
And I know, you know what I'm saying? Because they lost to Nebraska.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That was a bad loss for them. You know what I mean? That's kind of what people are like. Yeah, Brandon can be why you hold on the rest of the season. That kind of makes you say I kind of need to see that schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a shocker. Colorado gets in, man. All best.
Is Lincoln Riley on the hot seat?
From USC?
Yeah.
You said from USC?
Yep.
No, I think they're going to give it one more year to figure out. You know, so this is a year the California things have to transition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even UCLA, they got some wins. That's who beat Nebraska.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take some time for the if you go, you know what I'm saying, foresee this Big Ten thing out. It's going to take them some time to, you know what I'm saying? They're going to melancholy. They're going to jump. They're going to chop up. They're going to give USC going to come up with a cupcake schedule, man. You already know that. You can't have IU walk their way into a national championship game, and their toughest game was, what I mean, was who, right?
Well, I mean, the Big Ten schedule's already been made for the next 4 years already, or next at least 3 years.
Well, until they play Michigan. I mean, excuse me, until they play Ohio State.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a pretty dynamic game, but that's the game that's on the road. I need to see the time of that game.
Let me ask you this. Let's jump gears because we're going to be back in college football here in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, we'll come back, man. I'm just going to kind of crash out.
I want to dive into the NFL, and I want to dive in some comments I made last week on the show. And we were talking about Anthony Richardson, and we were talking about how he got benched for Joe Flacco. Anthony Richardson had the tap out. And I also made a mention that early in the summer, there was a comment by Anthony Richardson that I caught that I said on a previous show and brought it back last week, that Anthony Richardson said, hey, for real, playing in the NFL, it's easier than college football. And you kind of said, we're bringing back old stuff. I forgot about that, right? You said that, John. Oh, I forgot about that. Well, a good friend of mine on the next day on his podcast brought it up as well. People were comparing him as the same type of player, maybe by body size and by the color of his skin, but not the way he plays. And I said, I am tired of people comparing Cam Newton and Anthony Richardson, Colts fans, as the same person because it's not even close. These two, they're black. That's about the only thing, and they play the same damn position, and their height and weight are probably about the same. But that is it. Cam Newton came out and said this, John. I'm going to play this 2-minute, 13-minute clip. So here we go.
When I look over the last...
Here we go. This is on his 4th and 1 podcast.
Year or so, you was taking extremely high. You made certain quotes over this past off season of you saying things like this. See, playing in the country, I feel like it's easier than college. Hold on. You can't say that and also say this.
Anthony, can you explain just you subbing out when you hurt, when you injured, and tired?
All right. Okay. Bro. Yes, you're in the big leagues now, guy. It's the big leagues. A lot of guys are in college and they're thinking like, oh, man, bro, I'm going to dominate. No, you just think you're going to do what Lamar Jackson does. You just think you're going to do what Peyton Manning and Tom Brady do. You think you're just going to do what Lamar Jackson do. No, bro. No, it's not. This shit ain't easy. This game is not easy, bro. When I said things over my career that said, bro, I had to have the endurance of a wide receiver.
Okay.
I also had to have the physical kind of attributes of a running back.
How to be durable like a running back.
Right? But I also had to have the mental wherewithal like a quarterback. Anthony Richardson, you possess these same type of things that you need to equip with yourself. It's not fair, bro. It's not. How you play the game, it's not fair. When I'm looking at a stat line that says you go 10 for 32 for 175 yards, 1 touchdown, and an egregious interception.
Egregious.
Bro, egregious. Bro, egregious. Oh, what the fuck? You can't do that. And that's why you see a guy like Lamar Jackson get the flowers because what he does isn't easy.
Yeah.
You took the easy route where you tap your head and say, "Damn, bro, I'm tired." What the fuck? You're a professional.
Yeah.
You don't get to say that shit. That's the easy way. You don't get to say that. You don't get to say playing the NFL is fucking easy and you doing that shit like that. Your inexperience has shown. And now you've been held to that. And now you're on the bench.
I cannot agree 100% more than what Cam Newton just said that I brought up as well before him from comments that Anthony Richardson made during the summer. John, from what I said and with what Cam Newton just said regarding that situation, your thoughts on what Cam said regarding Anthony?
Basically, he said, "You were killing me, Petey." If you remember, you know what I'm saying, the great speech Denzel Washington gave, you know, so you are killing me, Petey. You know what I mean? It's just a good wake-up call. It's kind of like a, you know, this is how it kind of plays out now in the media. You know what I'm saying? What Cam Newton actually says is 100% true. But it's kind of like how he built the play. Everybody's like that. But Anthony Richardson has to look at himself as the leader of the team and be like, man, he's like, dude, you can't have comments like this. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna follow you. They're gonna follow you even when after the coach is kind of done with you, or you're gonna be part ways or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So in this regard, you know what I'm saying? If Flacco's probably gonna start the next game for sure. I told you, my personal opinion, this ain't the last time we see him start Anthony Richardson. Just because it wasn't a pretty baby at all with Flacco.
It wasn't good, John, when they showed the camera on him Sunday night and Richardson's over there yawning. That's not good.
Well, you would think I never heard nothing was wrong with his Wonder League test.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We never heard any issues with that. It was all about potential coming into the NFL.
Immaturity.
You know, coming back, and now we're looking at. And it's not necessarily maturity. People take the maturity comments days ago. They're gonna be like, well, he's not like he's staying out all night partying and whatever. But like, he's the innocent, you know what I'm saying, the head football, you know what I'm saying, quarterback, especially if a team like the Colts. Especially with a team, I'm not saying the Colts got a whole bunch of banners, you know what I'm saying, but like they expect a lot out of their
AFC finalist banners, John. They had those for a bit. Then they took them down.
Just trying to rub it in.
Thoughts on that game Sunday night against the Vikings? I thought it was a very boring game. Jonathan Taylor fumbles. I felt like the Colts were given every single option to win that game, and Joe Flacco looked like he did not even study for this game and didn't want to be out there. And, Vikings ended up getting a dub there. Colts lost an opportunity, especially with the Houston Texans losing their ball game.
Yeah, it's a wonder if the Colts, I mean, they're not, just the trade deadline's not over now. Why, you know what I'm saying, the Colts really didn't take any official, like, phone calls about, you know what I'm saying, anybody on their defense. You know what I'm saying, this is, you know, Brandon, you saw it, the New Orleans Saints are no more.
Selling.
You know what I'm saying, and their team is over.
2-7.
I'm surprised the quarterback thing. I really am.
Well, he's getting dragged by Michael Thomas too.
Well, it'll probably be for them. It'll probably be over the draft, like in the offseason. They're gonna have a whole new splash operation.
Head coach will be Drew Brees. Watch.
You think so?
He'll be leaving Purdue. He's at Purdue right now, but as an assistant. But I can see New Orleans bringing him down there. It's a splash hire. He can cradle the quarterback. He can get a thing. I think it'd be good. What New Orleans needs is a rebuild. I 100% can see them bringing in. Or if they're dumb, there's a guy maybe about, 400 or 500 miles away in the city of Dallas that might be looking for a job if they want to bring him in over. Yeah. I said if they're dumb.
Oh, okay. It's possible.
So
it's possible. Yeah, it's gonna be a whole new splash page there next year, y'all. So,
actually, if you put gun to my head right now, who I think would be the best candidates, and put your thoughts in the chat here as well, wherever you're watching on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Put your thoughts here. My two candidates outside the box, my first candidate would be Drew Brees. If I go inside the box, my two candidates would be Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel. Those would be my other two I'd go after.
Yeah, the Vrabel still on the side. Hey, do you think Landry wants another stab at the NFL?
I don't think. I mean, it would be enticing to go to New Orleans, but I think there's.
Listen, that's go back to that. I'm gonna ask you for Tanner too. Like, if he's not going to Florida, that would be a level.
There's some money there that the boosters would be throwing more at him. The program's worth a lot more in Florida than it is Ole Miss. I'm sorry.
But he's built up a better program right now.
Well, shit, yeah, but you know what Ole Miss was before he took over. I mean, he's built up every program he's been to, almost. Maybe not Tennessee. Yeah. Bumped his ass on the tarmac.
Yeah, but like, no, I just kind of curious. But like, yeah, not to go back to college football or anything like that. But no, real good. Yeah, New Orleans things still selling. They probably gonna cut the
Richardson did have some trade interest from teams. The Colts were not interested in moving him. It was considered unlikely that they're going to move him in the offseason even. The Colts players believe benching Richardson for Flacco was the right choice, so the whole locker room agreed with it. I wonder if they're all going to agree to go. Now, Steichen said earlier this week that Joe Flacco's the starter this weekend against the Bills. This could be a murderer's game. It could be a 56-10 type of ball game against Buffalo if you don't start putting some stuff in check.
Yeah, I thought they were going to score 12. I thought they could at least score 12. I think the Colts at least score 12, right? 56 from the Buffalo Bills. The damn sure it's going to happen.
Right.
I think the Colts at least score 12, man. You say 10. I know the special teams ain't been, you know what I'm saying, still hot. Man.
Hold on. Justin Fox said Drew Brees would be a terrible choice. The coach is fine. Give him time. What coach? They fired him. They fired Dennis Allen this week. So the coach does no time. They have no coach. They have an interim coach right now until the offseason.
Well, you know what, Brandon? Antonio Pierce is going to get fired too.
Oh, yeah. He should be fired. McCarthy will be fired. That's 3. The Jets were 4th. Their coach got fired. That's 4. Usually it's 6 to 8 coaches that get fired per year. I'm trying to think of another one.
Seattle. My guy's safe in Seattle.
Miami? Or is he getting off because of Tua?
He gets off because of
New England? I'd say that'd be 5. 1 done.
No, Drake. So how do you evaluate that? I think Drake May still came out too early, but he's gonna be okay.
Stefanski?
They gotta figure out the offensive line. They gotta get a running back, all that. But do you think this is the right coach for him to grow with the team? That would be the question I had to ask about
Stefanski?
Go ahead.
You think Stefanski would be on that hot list? Dable in New York, that'd be another one. Doug Peterson, that'd be another one. Eberflus, that'd be another one. John, I'm up to 9 coaches right now.
Chicago's getting fired. He's getting fired. You have to leave the Caleb Williams in there. What did you leave him in there for?
Right? That's 9 coaches.
They're getting fired, man. I'm sorry. The Texas coach better get his act together because he's slipping.
He'll be all right.
How the hell you lose to the Jets? Nah, yeah, I know he's all right. I know that's all bad. Yeah,
if he's going to get fired, then Sirianni needs to be on the hot seat as well.
They love one another now. You can say Philly, did you?
No, I was going to say it, but Philly got brotherly love. The Rams the Rams are good now with McVay. They're starting to roll. They've won, 4 straight?
Mm-hmm.
Vikings are good. Chiefs are good. Bucks are good. Lions are good. Packers are good. Cardinals, Josh Gannon, which one?
The Lions.
Okay.
They made some trades.
They made one trade.
Well, I mean,
getting Zedarius, yes.
this is the best looking Detroit Lions team they can get to the Super Bowl, especially with the way the NFC is looking right
100%. 100%. Their best looking team.
now.
Now, can they put it together in the playoffs? That'll be the next question.
What the trusting of the coach? That's in his play caller.
Yep.
That's what's gonna come down with them. Yep.
Commanders 7-2. Is that a fraud? 7-2? I don't know. Falcons 6-3. You're not going to trust the Falcons, even though they have a great team.
We're talking about these playoffs right now.
Yeah. Cowboys, John. Dak suffered a hamstring injury in the loss to the Falcons. He's going to be out at least possibly 3 to 4 weeks. That's going to. They're 3-5, John. They needed to make some moves, and they went out and got a wide receiver for Cooper Rush. I don't know. I'm scratching my head at that trade that they did, but I think the ground has been. I think they're starting to undo the ground with the backhoe for Mike McCarthy's grave there in Dallas.
You know, Michael, they might make some trades in the offseason because they defensive players.
They need to.
Have some higher paid, haven't been performing, and I get it. He hasn't played,
right.
You know what I'm saying, enough games to kind of live up to his performance level, but they might make cuts there. Even the center as well, the kid from Notre Dame, name is Casey right now. He's kind of high paid guard. You know, people are always looking for protection. You know what I mean? It's short term. That's something tradable asset right there. Dallas Cowboys, man, Brandon, would it be smarter to just sit Dak Prescott for the rest of the season? Let Cooper do his thing. He's won games with the Cowboys. The reason why they make trades is when they won games with Cooper at quarterback, they had a little bit better.
But I don't think Dak's the problem. I'm sorry. I don't think he's the complete problem.
They can't run the ball.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They can't run the ball. And that's a big, like, you know what I'm saying? We kind of thought, I thought it was going to be better. They still got decent offensive line play. You know what I'm saying? But they can't run the ball. And they always are seemingly playing from behind. Always. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Playing catch up. So why don't they just sit it on down? Because they're not going to retain the coach at all, right? And that, if you had to trade something, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You could trade Dak Prescott and get it. Still, you're going to lose games anyway, man. It's going to happen.
Okay.
The trade they made, it's not going to make us dent. The trade they made is not going to make us dent in their one-loss record. You just said it, Brandon. They can't run the ball. They can't run the ball. They get predictable offense.
No.
And your best defensive players ain't even out here playing like at a high level, man. The Dallas Cowboys is good. So you might as well just let it bottom on out. You know one of these kids is coming. See, the Heisman Trophy guy, wouldn't it be, you know, say, how great would it be if Travis, you know, say Hunter ends up with the Dallas Cowboys or Sanders along with his dad? You know what I'm saying? Conspiracy theory, me, right? But
what about CD? He's doing a lot of bitching on that sideline. CD Lamb.
Don't say this, but Brandon, who's a complimentary receiver? Who's his running buddy? For a Dallas, you know what I'm saying? You know, Dallas usually has like 2 receivers.
Right.
Who's really complimentary receiver this year? Nobody. You know what I mean? Nobody did, like, they receivers out. Oh, man.
Yeah.
My guy should just sit down for the coach. My guy should sit down for the receiver for the coach. If he's hurt, he looks like he's hurt. I know I'm jumping off the Cowboys. I'm jumping off the coach there. They need to sit down, bro.
Yeah, you're jumping all over the place. Steelers, John. Steelers had a bye week. Sitting at 6-2. Just a game up right now in the AFC. In the AFC North up on Baltimore, a half game up on Baltimore. They went out, made a trade, got linebacker Preston Smith from the Packers to add to that linebacker core. And then they went out, and I kept bitching John for as long a time. We need to get a number 2 wide receivers. They inquired about DK Metcalf to get him in to pair with Russell Wilson. They went after Brandon Ayuk, and they struck and missed with that one. They tried for Devontae Adams. They struck and missed out for that one. But they went out and got Mike Williams from the Jets. Serviceable wide receiver, friendly contract for the team. I needed a number two. They got a number two. I kept bitching about number two. It couldn't be Pat Freiermuth. They got a number two. So I'm glad they made a move. Tom made a move before the deadline. So they're buyers. They're trying to make that playoff run, to make a deep playoff run here. And listen, 6-2, half game up in the division. You play you play Washington this week, and then you run off 4 straight division games. At home against Baltimore, at Cleveland, at Cincy, home against Cleveland. So, yeah, Cleveland and Cincinnati not too good this year, but hey, anytime you play division games, man, they're going to be rough and tough. And then you go to Philly, and then you go to Baltimore, and then you take a home game against the Chiefs on Christmas Day, and then you finish against the Bengals. So it's a very tough schedule the rest of the way for Pittsburgh. So we're really going to see what happens here in these final games. So the bye week came almost at the right time. If not, you would have played Washington here, and then all of a sudden you had the division games lined up, and then with Philly and Kansas City sprinkled in there. So we'll see what they're made of.
They got the Chiefs on Christmas Day?
On Christmas Day in Pittsburgh.
Brandon, that's when the Chiefs going to get their first loss.
No, I only laugh because I think they're going to get it in 2 weeks.
Man, the Chiefs is unbeatable.
They got to go to Buffalo.
Man, that Josh Allen, he gonna will, man, he gonna will.
No, John, come on. Come on.
When Patrick, the future Hall of Famer Patrick Mahomes walks through the door, man, his head goes down, man. I'm not buying, bro. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't get the Chiefs, though.
Well, I hope that'd be a nice Christmas present. I'd appreciate that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd appreciate that. 7:37 here on a Wednesday night. Thank you, our sponsor, Scott K. Nichols, State Farm Insurance. Thank you if you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, the Facebook page, listen to us on Blog Talk. We thank you for all that and more. John, couple things I want to dive to before we go back to college football when Tanner calls in with our picks. I'm going to go to the Pacers in the association, NBA. John, we've lost both centers to Achilles injuries, backup centers. Isaiah Jackson, James Wiseman, both down with injuries. Achilles out for the year. Pacers are looking at that free agent market, John. I sent you a thing today. They're looking at possibly JaVale McGee coming in as a backup center. You got Jahlil Okafor from the Duke University that could be coming up here soon. Playing for the Mad Ants. But Halliburton, his play has been wishy-washy so far. There's a report that he's had back spasms that's kind of contributed to his slow start. The only bright spot I see right now, Benedict Mathurin, John, his last 3 games, he's averaging 21 points, shooting 53% from the field, and averaging 8 rebounds and 3 assists. So there's that bright spot with these injuries, what Mathurin has came out and done.
And yeah, I still, Corey, kind of, Brandon, it'll take D-Copy kind of comment. I still think he's still kind of getting quirky with the minutes, but with the injuries, Jarrett Walker got to play more minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like what I saw. It's still similar to seesaw for me with Ben Mathurin. He does shoot a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'll go back to Tyrese Halliburton. Brandon, you're right in your assessment. When he's more aggressive, he's never going to be aggressive like John Moran. John Moran is out there playing ballet and running around, and here's D, and here's, the kids with the pike, wherever. You know what I mean? He's got, that's what he does.
Right.
But Tyrese Halliburton can't, like you said, he can't coach. So the first couple games, I feel like he coached. He had a complete game, like you know what I'm saying, where he 20. I think he had 25 and 10.
Yeah.
And like he was just miles at 30 or whatever, and on top of that 10, everybody kind of fed off that energy. That's the best version of this team when it's offensive mind team. Brandon, they're not going to be defense. It's not.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? In the fourth rituals, you know what I'm saying, they are 30 teams, Brandon, they are in the bottom 20 of like, you know what I'm saying, what it takes, you know what I'm saying, to win, you know what I'm saying, to stop teams and
right.
all that, you know what I'm saying, rebounds, all the plus minus, it'll drive you crazy. If you want to learn the science, I'll you know what I'm saying, we'll take a different conversation. I won't dominate. But no, man, the Pacers are offensive line, I think.
They're up right now, 38-26 into the first quarter on the Magic. Matherin, 9 points, 2 of 2 shooting so far.
They're going to come down there with them shooting. You know what I'm saying? Can they get some better shooting? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Nesmith is playing. You know what I'm saying? I know he's going to.
No, he's out tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, yeah. You know, I just want to play fast. Don't worry about the defense, y'all.
Oh boy. Oh boy. John says let the Olay defense begin there in Indiana. Purdue started their season Monday night with a young team. No Zach Edey, obviously. They're gonna Braden Smith's the leader of that team. He had 10 points and 15 assists in the game. Fletcher Loyer was the leading scorer. The big guys, they're not gonna be Zach Edey-esque, but Zach Edey wasn't Zach Edey when he first came to Purdue either, size-wise. So
you got to talk about what's that dude's name? Kate Jacobson.
Yeah, Jacobson.
Yeah, Jacobson's name.
No, you got it.
He ain't necessarily just strong. He ain't as strong as Edey yet, but like man, they use him in the same kind of way.
Big Brand will get him in that weight room. I feel. Who has some off-season work for him?
And dunking 2 hands over. You know what I'm saying? Running the floor, strong. You know what I mean? I like what Purdue kind of did. I mean, I get it, man. They don't play 2 games so far. So they
right.
Part of their comp, you know what I'm saying, of their schedule. But like, no, man, Purdue was like, you know what I'm saying, the same old Purdue, just younger.
Those Hoosiers, John. IU opens it up tonight. SIUE Edwardsville comes to Assembly Hall. Mike Woodson, year 4 starts tonight. They've got a lot of guys in there, John. A lot of transfers. Starting lineup: Miles Rice came from Washington State. Caden Carl came from Stanford. Mackenzie Mbaku, he was the co-Big Ten Freshman of the Year last year, coming back to sophomore. Monique Renew, the junior, averaged 17 and 8 in those exhibition games. And then Barrow coming in from Arizona. Do you remember the transfer from Arizona? But then they've got a ton of guys on the bench. Newton, who missed last year with an injury. Gabe Cups coming back. Anthony Liu coming back. Bryce Tucker, the McDonald's All-American, who 6'7" freshman. We'll see what he can do. And a lot more guys than the transfer. Trey Galloway's back, obviously. John, my question is for Indiana this year. I've got them at 22 wins, and I've got them like second and third in the Big Ten in my rankings. My question for IU, and I'm anxious to see in tonight's game because I'm going to turn it on after we get our show off the air. I got to know how IU's shooting this year. Did they learn how to shoot? Can they hit jump shots? Can they hit the three-pointer? That's been their issue the last couple of years. They have no shooting. So do they finally have the shooting this year? We're going to see. They've got the cupcake, Kirk Signetti style schedule once again. You got Edwardsville, then you got Eastern Illinois. You play South Carolina, which everybody's like, South Carolina, that's SEC, man. Come on, man. South Carolina just lost to North Florida on Monday at home. North Florida beat them. You couldn't even tell me what their mascot is without looking. And don't cheat, people. And then they play UNC Greensboro. I got 22-7, John. You know, they play Louisville's their first, I think, real game. They play them in the Battle for Atlantis. So they'll play them in the first game on November 27th. But I'm anxious to see what this Hoosiers team can do. I'm expecting it's got to be at least a second weekend in the NCAA tournament. I think Hoosier fans got to have that, right?
Brandon, no, don't, Valo, all them dudes is older dudes. They would really be G League players. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Transfers. You know, they super seniors, man. So I kind of worry. I kind of like the IU commitment.
Uh-oh.
So it's going to come down. They're going to want to put down for real.
You say there's not enough basketball? Not enough orange?
They got to get the commitment. Like the IU, like you talk about you said second week. No, they got to get you to Sweet 16.
That's second weekend.
Same way I'm talking about. Sorry. They got to get to the Elite Eight.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Well, no, Brandon, you said this guy, we pulled this guy over here from this school, we pulled this guy over here from that school, this guy, we know Ballo, he's over here.
Luke Good came over from Illinois. You got Hampton who came over from Bellarmine. Yeah.
Nah, man. This is like Elite Eight. That gonna come down to coaching.
Oh boy.
And the commitment from the guy. I know. The commitment from the guy. And like what it means, like it's man, you're not gonna always have no cupcake game in the tournament. The tournament, especially after the second week, man, you looking at somebody's best. Hey man, ACC team or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And this is the year, like man, I'm tired of like you see what Danny Hurley did with transfers. He got back to the championship game.
Yeah, and they're hungry for the third. He said today.
Right now, the fandom,
Blue blood,
the fandom, right? The blue blood fandom at IU is the same hunger that they have in Utah. The coaching, I think they heard probably the better coach, but at this stage in the game, you got a bunch of IU has a bunch of Ferraris, whatever, Corvettes, whatever. They need to. This is the time. Elite Eight. That's man. Come on, man. Don't get no.
Okay. Damn. Okay. I know you'll be checking out the Hoosiers tonight as well, 8:00 on the Big Ten Network here, starting in about 12 minutes. Before we get Tanner on, John, I want to talk to you. While I was at work, and we had the Taylor Swift effect going on downtown, I got an alert that Crossroads Sports was live over the weekend, and then next thing you know, I get a text from you, and I see a notification that Kenny Anderson, not just a random Kenny Anderson, the Kenny Anderson from Georgia Tech, from the New Jersey Nets, from the Indiana Pacers, that Kenny Anderson was joining the show. So you want to talk a little bit about that? Have him join the show randomly. Loved it.
Yeah, and a couple of spots in between, played for Portland, played for Boston, a couple of years. No, man. So, me and Brandon, this is Crossroads Sports Podcast. It's more than just me and Brandon kind of expressing our opinion. Hopefully, you calling in, kind of telling us like, we haven't had a call in quite some time, but it's okay. But like, we try to put on quality shows in all formats and all platforms, right? So I'll be trying to share with you. I'll be trying to bring on, quality guests to kind of share this story, man. You can get to anybody. There's different interviews and whatnot, but so there's quality Crossroads Sports out of the me or Brandon, man. They ain't nothing like it, right? So, saying Mr. Kenny Anderson, as I like to call him, man, he's he's well to do in his life, retired and all these things, doesn't coach anymore, doesn't play anymore, doesn't head coach anymore. He does like training all these things. So like, man, I just kind of reached out to him and said, man, you'd be interested in coming on the show, chop it up with me and my buddy. So on Wednesday night, talking old 92, man, and like what it was like playing with fans, what it was like playing with Derek Coleman, what it was like playing in the 90s at all. Because a lot of times, man, things get kind of lost in translation, even in the video, going to search tell. And it's cool, like we have a living legend, like, man, Brandon, it's real cool. Like anytime anybody talks about basketball from the state of New York, anybody, they always mention him. Like you'll get names like Chris Mullins come up and Mark Jackson. Various things, but everybody always mentions Kenny Anderson. He's a great high school phenomenal basketball player, y'all. Me saying this doesn't give it justice. Go back. I try to share some of the videos and whatnot on the story and through some of my other social, man. Go back and look at some of the videos, man. He did. It wasn't always. It's not like Derrick Rose dunking or whatever, but like, man, incredible vision with basketball, incredible, mid-range pull-up. He had a tremendous run. It was the Georgia Tech, during the. But this is what we kind of talked about during the tournament and whatnot. So they got put up by UNLV. But like, nah, man, he's a real cool dude, real humble dude. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. But like, he's also, kind of so super laid back, like, yeah, I call in, So he was like, hey, I'm just gonna do it right now. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of just hit me a message that he wanted to kind of come on and kind of chime in. I was always kind of rambling, of course. And like he said, he would have kind of. I was talking about NBA. He kind of came on, and we kind of did an interview there. So like he was lounging, heavy as you saw.
Yep.
And we kind of just talked about 90s basketball and like his impact in it. And it was it was a real cool moment for me to chop it up with him. and it was like really impromptu because I can't, you know what I'm saying? I kind of always prepared.
And he met his wife while he was playing here for the Pacers. Not that she was here, but while he met her while he was playing for us.
Yeah, because I asked him what he kind of thought about playing for Indianapolis, man. So he liked playing for the Pacers, man. He's kind of on television career during that time, but he played backup here at point guard for us, man. So like, it was great. Kind of top of the list. You can still, folks, listen to my voice. You know what I'm saying? You can still listen to that interview. It's all Instagram. It's all Facebook. The Crossroads Sports pages and whatnot. So go check it out, man. The living legend. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Anderson, man. Like I said, great, impactful. You know what I'm saying? All those things, college, you know what I'm saying, NBA, you know what I'm saying, all those things, man. So, yeah, everybody should check out the interview. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, Kenny, cool guy. Can't wait to see what happens there. And you got some other stuff chomping down the bit.
I got that, yeah. Brandon will tell you, want to talk so bad. How did you, y'all? I got another one I'm working on, y'all.
The only hint that I will give, Indiana, we're all for you. That's all I can say.
There you go.
So, but man, that one's gonna be good, and I gotta do some research for that one. That one might be we may have to record that one off using with the video, John, and do the StreamYard. And that way we can do a video one and just record it, and then we can just add that video as a separate interview into things. So that might be cool to do because we can do that one anytime.
Yep.
So I want to be in on that one when that one happens. So yeah, that was a little behind the curtain there on that. Before we get Tanner, and he's going to be calling in here in a second. Hey, man, I don't know why your guy got to be going at the Indianapolis Recorder yesterday and today. He can't keep him out of his mouth. Crazy. Well, I didn't listen as much today because you know what today was talked about.
Yeah, I didn't listen too much to Double D today. I'll probably tap into it because he's gonna have to deal with this IU.
Oh yeah, tomorrow. Can't wait to hear it.
It's just a hot mess. I hope it's not a hot mess, man. We have a great collection of talent.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? One or two things is gonna happen. Either they gonna all bond together, like, all right, man, we're here to dunk on everybody and rip and run and hopefully it's that. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't really seen that out of IU just yet, man. We seen that out of Kansas.
Can I ask you something? I've been reading the message boards and the ACC and also the Duke message boards, John. I've got some people already starting to do comparisons with Christian Laettner and Cooper Flagg. Cool. Okay. Wow. You are very protective of Christian Laettner, so that's why I was shocked when you just said that.
Everybody hates Christian Laettner.
Except for me and you.
You know what I mean? Grayson Allen, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I give you my top 10 dudes. Grant Hill, that's my guy. Bobby Hurley, that's my guy.
JJ?
Jason Williams for damn sure. You know what I mean? That's my guy. Hey, Battier, come on.
JJ Redick?
JJ Redick can come off my. Hey man, JJ Redick. Somebody had a good point, man. The homie did. Baron Davis. He said JJ Redick. He's trying to humble. JJ Redick needs to humble himself because like that whole plumbers. That still kind of followed him. He said JJ Redick said plumbers. You know what I'm saying? That Jerry West played against plumbers and whatnot. He said, well, Jerry West and them had jobs and stuff besides the NBA guys. They still became Jerry West. You know what I'm saying? You are JJ Redick. Didn't have no other job. Where's your Jerry West at? Where is your championship? Where is your mini title? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But JJ Redick, the player at Duke. I guess he's on the team. But in my top 10.
Elton Brand.
That's too soon, man. No, he's not in the top 10. He can't come to the picnic.
So if they left too soon, then we're keeping Jason Tatum. We're keeping Curry off of there.
I miss other guys left too soon. Zion Williamson, that was incredible.
Greg Paulus.
Who?
Greg Paulus on the honorable mention.
I would actually have Paulus over there before I'd have JJ Redick. To be honest, I know somebody think I'm crazy, but I would.
What about Duhan?
Duhan was tough too, wasn't he? Oh man.
Oh, love Duke. I love Duhan. That was my guy.
What about the kid from here, man? From Carmel. Forget about him.
What about my guy Trajan?
Trajan Lane. Oh man, he's a good free throw shooter.
Yeah. Woj. Capel.
I love Woj, man.
I for some reason I was a big Jeff Capel fan.
Because that time, just Capel kind of overrated. Okay.
Yeah, I was still a fan.
Hold on, man. How can we got to talk about Rivers? What about you?
Kind of left early. He was my left early. Well, if you're talking about leaving early, then how about Kyrie Irving? Ricky Price.
Kyrie Irving. I said Ricky Price.
No, that's what I'm saying. Shame on you. Kyrie Irving.
They only played 6 games. No.
I was a fan of William Avery. I liked William. Chris Carrollwell.
I like William Avery too. Yeah, Chris Carrollwell stuff. Chris Carrollwell. Actually, he's a friend of my cousin. Man. Chris Carrollwell got nothing but high praise. Chris Carrollwell. Chris Carrollwell probably gave up too much of his game.
They should have won the title that year.
Because they actually would be more of a. I thought more of a glue guy. But now Carrollwell, absolutely.
What about Corey Maggette? I forgot he played for Duke. I forgot he played.
He disappointed me. I like Corey Maggette at Duke.
Yeah.
He disappointed me in the NBA, man. He disappointed me in the NBA.
Yeah, he went to the Clippers and they were terrible. So that it happens. What about Dunleavy? You never talk about our guy Mike or Boozer.
Did Dunleavy win the title?
Yes, they did. 2001. Remember?
I thought Dunleavy was gonna be like Tony Kukoc, man.
Oh Lord, here we go. Hey man, are we gonna get the twins? Are the twins gonna come to the Brotherhood?
What twins are you talking about?
The Boozer Boys.
They coming to Duke too.
Can they unveil the banner already? We'll need to ask Tanner, but can they go ahead and just unveil the banner for this year and then for that year when the Boozers come?
And next year. And the Wizards gonna draft. You should draft Boozer. You should draft Cooper Flag this year and Boozer next year.
Oh, Pacers should do it. Let's bring him on. T, what's going on? Let's go ahead and get the banners ready.
I hear you guys stop bumping those gums. You guys are the modern day Kentucky. Probably just got to get all these 5 stars to get knocked out in the first and second round like a bunch of chumps.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what's going to happen.
John,
you can take that brotherhood, turn that son just sideways, and you know the rest of the way.
Hey, speaking of turning stuff sideways, guys, we had a bad week. Except for John was 5-5, so he had an okay week, but I was 3-7. Tanner back to another 2-8. We just can't get on the right side, damn it. It's rough. I'm 53, 54-2. I'm first time ever all year. I'm under 500. Jonathan is 62-44, just continuing a dominating performance this year. Tanner 48-59-2 this year. So it's not good, boys. We got a smaller card this week. 1, 2, 3, 7, 9 games, and one of them is already played. Hey, we're all in the winner's circle, baby. Ball State covers 11.5. We all had Ball State. We took it yesterday. Ball State covers, so we have covered it. We're 1-0 to start this week. Can't say it might not end that way, but John, before we start, I know you had a couple questions for Tanner. You were talking with the Lane train and him a little bit. Do you want to go ahead and kind of go into that before we go to our picks, since we have less picks?
Quick, man, Tanner, what do you think? So, like me and Brandon were trying to talk about NFL jobs coming available. New Orleans is going to be open for darn sure. Chicago for darn sure. You know what I'm saying? You think Lane train? might lean into an NFL job, or it's either Ole Miss or Florida.
That dude's an adult frat boy. He ain't leaving no college game. He's staying there for sure.
See?
That's just my thought. I just don't think I could see him going anywhere. I just see him staying in college. I think he likes it a little too much. I mean, I feel like he's too
Careful.
young still. That's the word.
Got you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna in about 5 years if this NIL thing starts getting more crazier and crazier, and I can see him saying, "See you later."
Yeah.
It's already crazy for me, man. You bracket. You see the playoff bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk that next. Let's go into the bracket, guys. Let's talk. First bracket came out. Let me change my Facebook. Here we go. So first matchup we have the top 4 seeds, one from each division of the or each conference leaders. Number 1 is Oregon out of the Big Ten. Number 2 is Georgia out of the SEC. 3 is Miami out of the ACC. John, I told you Miami. I told you before the season they were going to be from the ACC. And then number 4, BYU from the Big 12, which none of us had that. 5 seed is Ohio State, even though they are ranked 2nd. They'd be taking on Boise State right now. The 8-9 would be Tennessee and Indiana for the right to take on Oregon. And then Alabama versus Texas in the 6-11 game. And then Notre Dame and Penn State in the 7-10 matchup. So, John, your questions to Tanner regarding the bracket.
No, I'm just wondering what transition. I would have to direct. That's what you have to see the bracket. Why not? That was kind of
Yeah, I did. I got a glimpse of it last night when I was working. I think they got the right teams in there. I mean, they're gonna probably getting some shakedown from SMU not in there, but I don't have any who's played so far.
John's pissed.
Right now,
John is pissed. Tell him, John, was how we started the show. He started the show pissed off about it.
no.
It took 2 minutes. We were already in an argument.
No, listen. Penn State best win is versus Illinois. Everybody knows this, man. So that's the pickup. Not pre-built lane train here, man. Ole Miss is a better team. Well, I don't know. I think Ole Miss is a better team.
They're all
But
fighting
they've
out
had
this
a harder.
weekend.
Well, they've had a harder. They played a tougher schedule.
Well,
That's kind of my point.
the SEC are from top to bottom. The Big Ten's kind of just top heavy.
Right.
So if you're not playing those top heavy teams in the Big Ten, like Ohio State, they're going to have the hardest road to make it. Like their schedule's harder because their teams are harder to play. So, I mean, I think the SEC schools, there's 1 and 2 lost teams in there that are good. There's probably 8 2-loss teams are better in the SEC right now.
Mm-hmm.
But John's pissed off the fact he wants the Big 12. He wants more Big 12 representation.
The Big 12, God bless format because last year, this coming, if they didn't have this format, the Big 12 will be out, and maybe the ACC will probably. Well, no, I said this again. The Big 12 will be out of the playoffs for sure. If they didn't have it.
I still think BYU might be able to run the tape. There might be, I think, 2 Big 12 teams can still get in there.
Oh wow!
Colorado. Hey, don't look now. I told John, Colorado's could be easily in that college football playoff.
I'm telling you, if Iowa State probably gets cooked, I mean, Iowa State could still be in it. They take a bluff. They might lose this week. I mean, I got them on upset alert. They play Kansas. They could be. Watch out.
The TV. Go ahead.
But I mean, I think if, like you said, I think 2 teams might be able to sneak in there in that Big 12. I mean, are you gonna really let the team get 4 teams in there?
Yeah, I think you're always going to get 4 SEC and 4 Big 10, always.
You think you're gonna get that many?
Yeah, I do.
You don't think You're only going to cut them off at 3? You're going to let 4 of them get in there?
No, I think they'll have 4.
Yeah.
I mean, you got
3, and then you add.
you do a group of 5.
Then you add Notre Dame in there. That's 9. I'm going to get on well. Yeah, get on there. 12 teams in there.
Or 2 ACC teams. I think you either get one or the 2. You don't get 2 of each.
Oh boy, yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be. I don't think Big Ten and SEC get 2. Well, if the Big 12, the Big 12 has more downside to them, where teams could lose and they could only have 1. But if some of these Big 12 teams just win, they might put a case in there to put 2 teams in there.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody's got some echoing. Somebody's got some clicking going on in the background.
I know that he probably doesn't want to see that, but I think it's good.
Let's dive into our picks. We each all had Ball State, so that's a dub to start out the this week. Next one, Purdue at number 3, Ohio State. Ohio State, 38-point favorites at home. John, your leader.
I'll say good night, Purdue.
Oh, Tanner.
I'm with you. I think Ohio State play some close games, and they need to really run one up on somebody because they know. I think they know they need to show out, and I think they need to show out a little bit. So I like Ohio State. I think they can round probably 45-6, 48-6. They're gonna get. They're gonna.
I think you're giving them more credit.
I don't think Purdue scores over yet. They're definitely not. I don't know what the team total is right now, but I'd like to see what Purdue's team total is because I don't think they're scoring over 10.
Keep talking. I'll look real quick while you're talking.
Yeah. So that would be a bet for me to take their team under. If it's under 7 and a hook, I still might take it.
Let's see. Team props. Purdue team total minus 160 for under 7.5.
I knew it. Just call me. Just let me go to Vegas and set line. Yeah.
We create our own sport book.
Yeah. So that's that. But yeah, that's all I got on that. I think Purdue.
Yeah, I take Ohio State as well. Ohio State minus the 38. I hope he does. I am on that forefront for him to get fired, get somebody else in there. Somebody knows what the hell they're doing. Yeah, give me Ohio State minus 38. They may hang a 50 burger.
Coaching experience for a while.
Yeah. Ohio State is, if this helps to tell you, Tanner, they are minus 130 for over 44.5. So, I think they're going to put a 50 burger on. So, if it's over 50, John or Tanner, it's plus 155. So I might take it.
Yeah.
Especially at home.
I think they really got to put up points and have a blowout game. They need one bad.
Yep. Next one.
I think they need that. One last thing. I think they need a big win like that blowout with special value coming to town the following week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Next one, Florida at Texas, number 5, Texas. Texas, 21.5-point favorites. Tanner.
Man, if that quarterback wasn't, the line probably wouldn't be where it is if that quarterback was healthy for Florida. But Florida's defense caused. I mean, they played well against Georgia. They've been covering games lately, 6, I think, in a row, maybe. I mean, they gave fits to Tennessee. I mean, if you look at Florida's schedule, it's like one of the hardest in the SEC. I mean, they threw it at. I mean, their schedule's hard as hell. But I think the coach, they've been able to turn people over with that hook on the other side and some analytics I've been reading on. It's everybody's got it right around 20 points at the analytics, and I'm just gonna say they hold in tight enough on that, and I'm just gonna say, and Ewers for the other side hasn't looked that great. He's got 4 interceptions in the last 3 games. He's turnover prone. He doesn't really. He has a throws under over 10 yards. He doesn't have over 50, his completion percentage is under 50%. So I just think if that Florida defense can stay in there, I like the hook on that side on that 3 touchdown. So give me Gators.
I'm going to take Florida plus 21.5 too. I think they can keep it within 3.5. 3 touchdowns with the hook there, especially. It's an SEC game. Napier's got to get the boys playing if he wants any chance that he keep his job, which I know he won't. So I'm going to take Florida there. John.
Give me that. Maybe they do a quarterback thing. Since this is, I've been Harvard for Art Manning to get out there. Like I wouldn't be, I ain't got, I really don't have nothing against viewers. He might even be the coach quarterback. He probably be the coach. You know what I'm saying? Second round draft pick next year. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But like, nah, man, they need to do. I think they need to do a quarterback thing couple games ago. I know he was in and out. He's supposed to use your start spot. Still do the injury. Nah, man, I know y'all saying Florida's playing better. They ain't playing that much better, man. Give me that. Sorry.
The big one, number 2, Georgia, minus 2.5 at number 16, Ole Miss. John.
I'll be a miss. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying? I've been brought up, you know what I'm saying, Lane Train how many times tonight, man. Georgia, did they look good last week? I know they won. You know what I'm saying? Did they look dominating? They have a way to shift different gears, man. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily want to just. I think Lane kind of keeps it close, man. I don't necessarily want to just say Georgia's just going to run them over, man. I think keeps it close, man. I know I picked on, you know what I'm saying, Ole Miss early on, like who they didn't play in their preseason. I know they played permanently. And he was there, right?
All right.
But they kind of got since their SEC playing and taking a loss. You know what I'm saying? They kind of got, you know what I'm saying, more better galvanized play. In a short, real fast kind of game, and with a Georgia team that don't always bring it every game, I like Ole Miss, man.
Okay. I'm going to take Georgia minus the 2.5 here. I think Kirby and them, they need that. It's still Georgia, guys. It's still Georgia. Nothing has changed. They're still a dominating team. Lane Train, what they're doing down there is great. I'm a big Lane Train guy. But overall, it's still Georgia. They're still going to be there. We knew they were still going to be. All 3 of us, Tanner, you have Georgia win the national championship in your preseason pick. Me and JB have them losing to Ohio State in the championship. This is the run they need to make. They've had their loss. They've figured out what they need to do. It wasn't a sexy win against Florida, but they don't need to win a sexy game against Ole Miss. They just got to win by at least a field goal. And I think they can do that with that defense. I think Kirby will get them playing. I'm going to take Georgia. Here's my stat, fellas. 7 of Ole Miss's last 8 games have gone under the total points. 7 of their last 8. So I think it happens again this week. I like the under as well in this game. Tanner?
I'm with you. This game's actually got me torn. I might be a late night switch on this too. I like both sides.
Well, I hope it's not late night. It's at 3:30. So that makes a big difference too.
I mean, it'll be a noon switcher if I think about it. Carson Beck's just not really good.
No.
And if you look at Ole Miss, they're great in the trenches on the defensive side. They get sacks, they get pressure. That's why I'm leaning on taking Ole Miss here just for this because I mean I don't know if ETN's going to play for Georgia. He got knocked out last game. And their run offense really isn't that good. He doesn't have Lad McConkey. He doesn't have Brock Powers. I'm just like, I don't know who he could throw to. But the run game, I think they could shut it down. Dart, he looked great out there. So, I mean, just for that, and they're catching 2.5. They're going to be amped up. I think Georgia can still make the playoffs with the loss here. Might be a learning. But I'm with Jonathan here. Don't go with him probably too much. Probably should go with him more often. He's the one with the better record in this damn thing. So give me Ole Miss this year. Just this year. Go a little bit. That'll be great.
Isn't this crazy? I've been the big Ole Miss Lane Train guy, and then the time that you guys both go with him in the big one, I go against him. How about that? Crazy. Probably bad on my idea, but I think this guy's got to believe, guys. And if this was a night game, I'd feel comfortable taking Ole Miss, but it's the middle of the day, so I don't feel as comfortable. The game will end at night since it's 3:30, and it gets darker at 4:00 now. But Georgia is Georgia, and Lane hangs in there with these big time games, but he just doesn't get the dubs. So I don't have the confidence in it right now. So next one, Michigan at undefeated number 8, 9-0 Hoosiers. Hoosiers, 14-point favorites. What says you, John?
I can't believe it, man. The last time IU beat the Michigan, Jim Harbaugh was the coach, and it was controversial. The nose of the football technically getting covered. It's the pylon. You remember that. That's the last time they beat the Michigan. Right now, man, they're going to beat Michigan. I don't think they're going to roll them like they rolled Michigan State. I really don't. But they're going to beat Michigan. So give me IU.
Tanner.
What is it? 14 you said? Is that the line?
14 is the line we have. It just went tonight to 14.5 on DraftKings.
I know it's went from 13.5, 14 for okay. We'll go for okay. I'll take the 4. I like IU. I mean, Dig's been covering.
Yeah.
I mean, I faded them last week. I don't want to fade them. I know they got a big. I know that this could be a look ahead spot for them, but I just. I say that, but every time he gets these dogs to play, and I think Michigan's going to be able to keep it close for the first half, but I think their defense will wear down, and I think Sig's just too good, and I think they'll win at the end.
Okay.
And they'll cover. Give me the Hoosiers.
I'm going to take the Hoosiers minus 14 as well. I think they cover this one. Sig covers. Sig is just throwing up points, and they threw up a boatload at Michigan State. I thought Michigan State is up 10-0. I said, I like my pick here. See what happens. Here we go.
I know. I did too.
And then next thing I looked at it after Taylor Swift game's concert was getting ready to start, I looked at that and said, what the hell just happened up there in East Lansing? So, yeah, I ain't going against them.
From the second quarter on.
Yeah, so give me the Hoosiers as well. Next one. Number 21, Colorado, minus 3.5 at Texas Tech. I'm going to take, I know Texas Tech got a big win last week at Iowa State. I think they're riding that high. Dion and them, give me that minus 3.5. Now, here's my question. Shedeur is good to go, right?
Yeah. They're coming off a bye. That was what I think they're coming off a bye, too. So I like this.
Give me Colorado then, minus the 3.5.
Yeah. I think that coming off a bye. I mean, I know it's in Texas Tech. Colorado's covered their last 6 on the road.
Yep.
5-2 in their last 7 games against the spread. And they covered their last 6 on the road. I think that extra week, giving them a rest up here. I think that you got. I know it. I think the game could be closer than what people are thinking, but I think at the end, Colorado they'll end up winning by like right around a touchdown, right in there. So I like Colorado here. Give me the Buffs and Dion and Shedeur, and I think Travis Hunter's healthy again. I think maybe Shiloh's back too. Maybe I know he's been banged up in that secondary.
Mm-hmm.
For them, so but I like Colorado here.
John.
I wouldn't co-sign everything you just said, man. I think they trying to also know that they need this for style thing. He's got too high. He's they legitimately. I know we don't have 4 Heisman candidates, right? But you know what I'm saying? Shedeur would be a 5th if we had to put a 5th up there. I think Dion kind of wants it to be an arguable thing. That he ain't just sending Travis Hunter to New York when they talk about Heisman. So I like Colorado on this. Give me Colorado.
Okay. Next game, and I think we can call it almost an elimination game here. Alabama, number 11, minus 3 at number 14 LSU. Tanner.
Man, this game has to be tore up, and you know I hate taking.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
But I might be able to, just because it's gonna be a night game in Death Valley. Like 7:30 start. I like it. I like it. I think the D's good, but I think Jalen Milroe can win on his feet in this game. That'll help Alabama cover the 3. I think they're gonna be able to run the ball. I think their defense, and I think Milroe's ability to scramble gets Bama through this. So it's hard for me to always pick Brian Kelly. I tell you, he doesn't win the big one. I called it the other week. He lost it again. I said, I'm firing again. I'm firing again. Give me Bama.
Taking Bama. All right. I'm going to go.
Here we go. Here we go. Do it, Brandon.
I'm going to go Brian Kelly and LSU at home at night. Tanner, just because of what you said. Night game, Death Valley, 7:30. I can't trust the board. Alabama's had too many close ones this year that they've scaved by their teeth on. I think LSU. I'm going to take LSU on this one. I reserve the right. I may change at the 6 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
But give me LSU.
Hey man, you know what? I'm gonna double down on the poison. Give me LSU.
Oh,
Oh boy. You got you some of that Usher medicine?
oh. If I had a tiger roar, I'd do that right now. But
No Diddy? No Diddy.
no Diddy.
Oh,
No Diddy.
give me that LSU one more time, man. I know I ain't supposed to trust Brian Kelly, and I still don't. But yeah, man, nighttime game, LSU. I like it. Shaq will be there. Andrew Reese will be there. LSU.
Last game, I took the Oklahoma Missouri off the board, gentlemen. We're not doing that one. Last game, Florida State, the amazing 1-8 performance that they are doing at number 10 Notre Dame. Notre Dame 26-point favorites in this one. John.
Give me the Irish.
I'm going to take Notre Dame as well. I think they cover. They never cover, but I think they cover. That makes sense.
I know. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. 20, who they got? They're like 26 against 2.
Florida State.
Florida State. Oh, yeah, they're terrible.
So
this was actually going to be looks to be a good game at the beginning of the season when the schedule came out. I actually thought about going up to Notre Dame for the game. I was like, this game actually might be good. Instead, I'm going to Bloomington on Saturday and watch this IU Michigan game. First time down there. Might just go in there with a pack of Marble Reds and just smoke them if I got it.
oh, love it.
But yeah, I think the Irish right here. I think that it's just too much. They need it. They need to blow out. I know it's not a statement win, but it's a big school.
Okay.
And I think that they're gonna need it more than him. So yeah, Irish.
Cool. Last thing I have, Tanner, before we let you go, is thoughts on how the World Series ended.
Baseball. Everybody. I think that's the worst inning in World Series history. That's 5th inning by the Yankees, and I'm not lying. Worst inning in World Series history.
That was tough to watch.
Hard as can be on these eyes. So hard.
Sounds like Cashman is going to keep Boone.
He is. They opted in on that. I don't know if I'm in favor of it.
Garrett Cole, did he opt in for the new deal, or did they? What happened with that?
Okay, so all right, so I did some research on that. So Garrett, he's got that famous agent and everybody, Scott Boras.
Yep.
So Boras was like, "Hey, opt out of this contract, and then you can get that 5th year, which adds another like $36 million on the contract." And another year adds the 5th year and another $36 million. So he opts out. Well, I guess when they get to the table to discuss, and Cashman goes, "Oh, if you want to stay here, I might not give you that 5th year and $36 million, but we can go back to the original 4 years, what's left on it." And Cole was like, "Yeah, just act like I never opted out. We're going back to that 4-year, $44 million." That's what he said. He said, "Yep, act like I never opted out. We'll just do that 4-year, $144."
Boy, that was quick.
Yeah, he said Cashman really owned that table. He said literally, he like snap called. He said, "Yep, give me that 4-year, $144. I'll take it." He literally said, "Act like I never opted out of that contract."
Oh man, that's like JB in the big box store. Stayed in, opted in.
Follow this guy. It's called Talking with the Yanks. It's like this, kind of like this spot, and he's really, and he that's where he broke it all down and gave you. I said, "This is great." Yeah, that's what happened.
Good night.
I'm gonna leave it this. I mean, the Yanks need Soto, but what are your? I don't know, Brandon. I mean, Jonathan doesn't follow probably enough baseball. What do you think Soto's contract?
What his contract's going to be? 600 mil. 600. 600.
750. No, it's supposed to be 750 for real. He's gonna ask for it.
No, I don't think he can get more than O'Connor.
Well, I tell you, the Mets are stupid enough to pay it.
Mets are. I heard Mets and Owen will write it in.
If the Mets, if the Dodgers get him, baseball's ruined.
Yeah. It said the Dodgers are in sweepstakes with them. And
where's this money coming from?
I believe the Mets. I think Cohen's using his own personal money to pay something.
He should.
Yeah. And I heard, well, the Yankees, because they declined, they declined Rizzo's option. I think they're trying to get a better first base. I mean, they're trying to compete a lot, but he's represented by Scott Boras. I mean, every son of a bitch I know has got Scott Boras. But you got to look. But you got to look at it. It didn't really work well for
no.
That Jordan Montgomery, and then that, just for all wrap this up, that damn owner of the Diamondbacks said it was the worst thing he ever did was give him the money. And then Blake Snell was looking for a large contract, and he got it, just a 2-year deal. So I think some of these owners now are taking shit from Boras, like, "Hey, this is what we're at."
Right.
I think some of these owners are standing up and be like, "We're not paying that much money." And I'm kind of seeing it. They're like, it's tightening it up.
Yep.
A little bit with the owners, which I am finally glad to see, because I'm like, I think a lot of these athletes are overpaid.
Oh, for sure. Baseball, 100%. So
Every sport, I think they're getting too much money.
Yep.
I mean, you got some of these guys making $1 million. I mean, Jalen Brown's making like $60 million. That's almost $1 million a game. You break it down. I'm like, really?
Yep.
A year? I'm like, it's just. I mean,
cool.
I get it, but they're trying to make themselves money by the money. It's just, there's just got to be I think it needs to have to be owners. The owners are free, like, "Hey, we're not going to do it."
Yeah.
Money will start going down. And then I could probably afford to get some more Yankees. Tickets won't be $800 for the nose.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, T. Perfect. Appreciate you, my man.
All right. Sorry, just want a little piece there, a little baseball breakdown. We'll follow up with football next week, and if there's any MLB free agent signings, I'll touch base on that too.
Sounds good. Good luck this week.
All right, brother. Thank you, guys. Always.
Thanks, Tanner. All right. That was Tanner Penrod, our college football guy. Picks are in. John, I don't have anything else, but man, if you want to wrap us.
No, man, we'll say thanks to everybody who chimed in with us today on the live show or comment and whatnot. We'll say thanks to Tanner for calling in, man. We want to send an extra special thanks to Kenny Anderson, my new homie and good friend of the program, man.
Thanks, Kenny.
For doing the interview, man. You know, with us, man. It was great. It was a great moment, man. Also, want to say thank you, Scott K. Nick and State Farm Insurance, man. I think we cross those sports without their promotional dollars, man. If you do with insurance, man, there ain't no better insurance person in this town than Scott K. Nick. There you are. Outside of that, man, me and Brandon, we can be back bigger than this, man. You know what I'm saying? Sharing a whole lot more. Hopefully, we have a bigger surprise. You know what I'm saying? Another big surprise like we had with Kenny Anderson this past week. We'll share with you next week. If we don't, man, we'll be back here with our, with the 3-man week with me and Tanner and Brandon Reese, man. Crossroads Sports, man. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show.